Have you ever been afraid? I'd be surprised if you haven't. But have you stopped to think why? What is fear? Where does it come from? And why would we do sometimes just about anything to rid ourselves of it? We'll keep watching. You're about to find out. But, health warning, you may end up seeing the fear is not that easy to explain, and that it might not be going away anytime soon, no matter what we try to do about it. I'm Rob Dalton, and I've taken a long and in-depth look at fear because I too wanted to know why we have it and where it comes from. And I discovered that fear is not an easy thing to get to grips with. And I don't care if the latest 12-step, meditation-based, brain rewiring, jargon-laden, intra-dimensional, spiritual, living in the moment self-help program is trying to tell you otherwise. Instead, we're going to take a more sensible look at fear. It might not always explain why you feel the way you do, but neither is it going to give you lazy answers or try to palm you off with childish tricks or enchantments. So if you're ready, we're going to discuss the first 5 things you need to know about fear. They're no more than a start, but they will help us get this show on the road. Firstly, we can't really reduce fear to a single moment, a bang or explanation or experience, so don't try to. Sure, that's how we tend to remember it, but fear is actually a combination of very different things working together as a team. It's a collective conspiracy, with agents everywhere, lurking around every corner, and even smiling in plain sight as we scan the horizon nervously, looking beyond for what is actually right there in front of us. This is because fear is many things at once, and we need to stop thinking that a single answer will see it off. It won't. Next, this doesn't mean that fear is impossible to track down or just too slippery or horrible to get to grips with. We understand a great deal about fear, and the solutions society has devised are often excellent at keeping its noises down to an acceptable level, allowing us to concentrate on other matters essential to life and well-being. Some of these solutions might involve medication, talking things through, the passage of time, learning new habits, even something as boring as improved street lighting. And there's lots more wonderful solutions out there, at least from people who know what they're doing. And that's the point. If fear was a single thing, then we would need just one solution to cope with it. But it isn't, and single answers simply don't cut it. Fear is not something we catch or pick up like a disease. It's not something we're suffering from because we're somehow too weak or too badly skilled to combat it. This is a very common way to think about fear, and a lot of self-help gurus make a lot of money out of the idea. But it just isn't true. Fear might be the Murphy's Law of the emotions, the spanner in the works of our DNA, and it might sometimes be very difficult to bear. But it's also our psychological saviour, the wise moment, the good advice. It can make us who we are, because it stops us from being the someone we might otherwise have become. The truth is that the best brains in the world can't agree on what fear actually is, let alone what we should do about it. It's the many different stories we tell ourselves about who we are, how we got here, and where we think we're heading. Fear has its own psychology and sociology, its own biology and neuroscience, its own psychoanalysis, imagination, order and logic. And all of these different ways of understanding the world sum up fear in their own peculiar manner. All of our systems of knowledge have rather unique things to say about fear. Sure, they share a lot in common, but they disagree with each other just as much. If science can't agree on what fear is and how to deal with it, then there's absolutely no point thinking that the little book you bought about fear with the lovely cover and the cute little sayings will do you any good whatsoever. So, finally, if you want to understand fear, you'll need to get to grips with the many different ways we categorize and analyze it. Only then will you be able to come up with the answers you're looking for. Sorry if that sounds like a bit of hard work. Getting to know more about anything, let alone something as tough as fear, tends to involve this sort of thing. Luckily, this channel can help. Press that subscribe button for your free guided journey through the many and varied lands of fear. We'll show you what fear really is, where it hides, and what you can do when you come across it. If that takes your fancy, then give us a like and a share, and let me know what you think about fear, what mystifies you, and what perspective on fear you'd like to understand a little better. I'll try my best to pick up on your suggestions. We'll continue the journey next time. Until then, take care and remember, we have nothing to fear but ignorance.